This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. With me, promoter Eddie Hearn in the aftermath of Demetrius Andrade's very emphatic world title defence tonight against Quigley. Eddie, initial thoughts? You must be really pleased with that performance.
Yeah, exactly what we needed, exactly what he needed. You know, there's always criticism when people don't want to fight someone. Oh, they're a bit boring. Oh, they don't finish people off. They can't punch. And tonight he went in there and was just brutal. Absolutely demolished Jason Quigley and made a real statement to the division. And you know, how many times have we had the conversation, when will he get the fights? Why won't people fight him? I can't give you the answers. But what I know is when he produces performance like that, people, us, me, you, fans, will call for those fights. And if you don't want to see Charlo against Andrade in a unification fight, 31-0 against 32-0, two American world champions, then I don't know what the game's all about. Because that's a natural fight. And it's so frustrating. And even, you know, as I said, in the ring, Jaime Munguia, you know, 154, moves to 160. He's a mandatory for Demetrius Andrade. And he chooses not to accept it because he wants a fight or two. Okay, I understand. Now he's had 4 fights. And now he's saying, I hope to get an eliminator next. Why? You've got a shot on the same platform with the world champion. You know, Gennady Golovkin, hopefully when he beats Murata, turns around and says, yes, I want all the belts at 160. Again, same platform. But the good news is that when you have a performance like that, we can shout from the rooftops. And tonight, that was a great performance from Demetrius Andrade.
Right, Eddie?
That's right.
We've seen him start fast in the past. The Liam Williams fight, put him down in the second round, couldn't get him out there and ended up going the distance. He's been a frustrated figure all week as well. Do you think that's kind of what we saw tonight in the ring from him?
I've said to, it's difficult to say to a fighter, come on, you've got to jump on people, you've got to get them out there, you've almost got to be a little bit reckless. Because it's a dangerous sport. He can control a fight and win every round. But everybody wants to see knockouts. Everyone wants to see aggression. Everyone wants to see violence. And tonight we saw violence from Demetrius Andrade. And he showed that he's got that in him, that piece of him. And we know he's got that in him. But sometimes it's not, okay, safety first. He's going there, finish the job, look spectacular. And tonight his stock went up another level because of a performance like that. And, you know, as I said, there's been so much talk about these fights for so long that when and if they happen, they will be really big. Because of all those years and years of saying, when will he get his opportunity? I just hope he gets it, you know, and it's not even, it's for him. It ain't even for me. Matchroom, I don't care. I just want him to get that chance. With us, without us, on another platform. I don't care. Because I believe this is a great American fighter. And he's someone that could create an incredible legacy. But without those opportunities, you can't go down as a great fighter. You can just go down as someone who people talked about as potentially a great fighter. We know he's a great fighter. Let him go and prove it.
We've been here so many times. Do you think the next one you can eventually secure that big fight? What's the most likely big fight to make for him?
I mean, look, when you talk about the politics of boxing and the platforms of boxing, you've got, obviously, Gennady Golovkin and Jaime Munguia on DAZN, right? So even DAZN should be saying, you guys, let's get together, let's make this fight. And I believe they will as well after a performance like that. But the fighters have got to want it. You know, I spoke to my good friend Louis de Cubas yesterday, and I said to him, when are you going to give us the Charlo fight? Like, on Fox, on PBC, wherever it has to take place. Oh, all right, let me speak to him. But I just feel that tonight, maybe it's a performance. They know how good he is, but maybe that's the kind of performance where they go, okay, this is a big fight. Let's do it. And it's a massive fight. Trust me, it's a massive fight. And if you don't want to pay for it, I'll pay for it. It's no problem. But I can't, there's no excuses not to do it. But Charlo's a brilliant fighter. 32-0, American world champion. 31-0, American world champion. You imagine if this was England? You imagine. You had 2 middleweights who was 32-0 and 31-0. And you got to this point after years and years of talk, and they still hadn't fought. They wouldn't be allowed to fight. British fans wouldn't even let them. They'd just say, we're boycotting your fight. You know? Is what it is.
Before we move on to the rest of the card, just a quick word on Quigley. Obviously, a very, very disappointing end to him, but been very respectful all week. Good travelling army came over as well, clapped him out the ring even still.
Massive support, great atmosphere in there for the main event. And listen, that's always the danger against Demetrius Andrade. He comes out so fast with shots you can't see, whether the uppercut's been the shot for the last few fights. Tonight it was the looping left hand, and he couldn't avoid it. And Quigley's a great guy. He'll be back. But he couldn't fight at that level. He couldn't compete at that level tonight. There's no shame in it because you're talking about a real elite world champion. But he's a man of respect and honour. Great people, great fans, and he'll be back for a big fight. I guarantee in the spring.
Julio Cesar Martinez and Martinez-Arroyo, I can almost guarantee I will never see a better first round from ringside ever. We'll start there. Unbelievable first opening round.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean, when we were back here and Julio was walking out, he was just belting himself around the face. The guy's an absolute lunatic. But he's got to be a bit careful because he comes in with absolutely no regard for what's coming back. And Arroyo can punch, and he put him down. You know, it was a flash knockdown, but still, he's on the ropes. He gets counted. Then he comes back, and he just brutalises Arroyo with a big shot. Arroyo never recovered. Kind of let him off a little bit in the second round, and then clash of heads or whatever it was. We'll watch it back. And Arroyo just didn't want to know. I'm sorry, and I won't use the word quit because I think that's disrespectful to fighters. But I'll let fighters or ex-fighters use that word if they want. But I'll say this. He had absolutely no interest in continuing. He walked back. When he got cut, he started looking at the corner saying, oh, no. Then he came back to the corner. He wouldn't sit down. He said, no, I'm done, I'm out. He wouldn't sit down. The ref come over, sort of egged him on to carry on. Then he sat down. Then the doctor come over. The doctor knew he was like, you know, it is what it is. But the truth is, he never wanted to continue. He was still hurt. He felt the power, and he thought, this is my opportunity to get a no contest. And that's the reality of the situation. So on we go. Unifications for Martinez. One of the most exciting fighters in world boxing. I love him to bits. He's a little lunatic. And on we go for big fights.
Is the Sonny Edwards fight the one to make?
Yeah, that's a great fight. We're more than happy to make that fight with Pro Bellum. And, you know, we can go forward and try and make that. If it's not Sonny Edwards, it's Dakalian, the WBA champion. It's the WBO champion if you want it. But he needs those kind of fights, you know, and he's good enough to win them. And he's so exciting. And he'll never give you a bad fight.
Just a couple more on the other world title fight. Aquindalia Velasquez, ultimately wide decision for Aquindalia. Velasquez really enjoying himself. He's a little nutter, wasn't he?
Yeah, another nutcase. Tough as you like. I mean, Akhmadaliev took a few and copped a few. Great earning fight for him. He's only 9-0. So he's 10-0 tonight. He's only had 10 fights as a unified world champion. That's the kind of fight he needs. We'll do the Ronnie Rios mandatory and then straight into what should be the undisputed against Fulton.
Kaylee Reese and Jessica Kamara, just being back with Jessica Kamara before, understandably devastated. We heard the crowd's reaction. How did you have it?
Had it 6-4 Kaylee Reese. I was sitting next to Chantel Cameron and Alicia Baumgardner. They had it to Jessica. 6-4 either way, I don't think you can really call it. I thought Kaylee finished really strong. I don't know. I just felt that the more smart work, the pressure was coming from her, but it was very close. 7-3 I didn't like. I don't think that's a, you know, I think 6-4 either way or a draw, you have to score that fight. And congratulations to both of them. Another brilliant female fight. You know, how many have we seen recently? It seems like every single World Championship fight is a Fight of the Year contender. And now congratulations to Kaylee Reese. She moves forward in the Road to Undisputed tournament against Chantel Cameron. WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO, IBO and Ring Magazine belts all on the line in the spring next year. What a great tournament. We should have this in every weight class.
Eddie Hearn, thank you as always, speaking to Boxing Social.